It's not too bad. Right, guys, welcome to day number 1 of the 14-day keto challenge. To start off every video, I will be eating a piece of fat to get us going, because that's basically what keto challenge is, trying to eat your fat every single day. Now, this fat is organic, extra virgin coconut oil, which, as I said, is on offer now at Aldi and reduced right down to £1.50. So that is a bargain. That's coconut oil. Now, as I explained yesterday, I had a few foods in, but today I've done my big shop. So I've got in here everything that I need for my 14-day challenge, and I'm really excited about some of these, especially this massive aubergine right here. So I'm going to go through my big shop, then I'm also going to tell you how I'm feeling, what I've eaten today, and in fact we might as well start with that. So this morning for breakfast I had 2 eggs, 4 bacon, I cooked it all in butter, and then I had it with some berries. So because I didn't have any fresh greens, which would be ideal, that was my breakfast this morning. Really enjoyed. Oh, I had some cheese on it as well. Really enjoyed it. About 600 calories, and was feeling great. And then went out shopping. We also went for a walk as well. And because we were out and about, I had some pork scratchings because I heard they were okay on keto. Had a couple of those. Now, while I was there, I saw in B&M there's a different few varieties of pork scratchings. And suddenly I've become a pork scratching expert. These are from Aldi, these are from B&M. Now, the worst pork scratchings you can get are these ones, the pork crunch, because they're not really authentic. They've got loads of carbs in, they've got loads of ruskin. So don't buy those if you're on keto. The next ones are the Aldi ones, so they're okay, but again, they're still not really high in fat. The best ones that I've found are these. So it does say pub original pork scratchings. These are £1 for a bag of 8 at B&M. And the good thing is the tiny little packets as well. So often with pork scratchings, you just have too much, don't you? So tiny little bags, 18 grams, and they're basically 75% pure fat. So if you're on the keto diet, going for these little pork scratchings are the best. So I had some of those for lunch. And then in the afternoon, as you know, for the last few months, the last few years, I've been feeling really great. But this afternoon, I started to get a little bit of a headache. I started to feel like I didn't have much energy. So again, you need to be really careful, guys, that you are drinking enough water. They do say this is the best thing to keep your energy levels going. However, then I had my tea, which some of you have seen on Facebook. I had the shallow fried avocado. So I cut an avocado into slices, shallow fried it in this coconut oil, and then served it with a little bit of sour cream. It was amazing. So great. And as you can probably tell now, I'm actually really perked back up again. I'm back to normal, feeling good energy, and I don't feel hungry. I don't feel full either. So because obviously you don't want to feel like fatty and full. I just feel great. So I'm glad that my day of eating is great. And for those of you who know that I've been following MyFitnessPal, so I've been calorie counting as well as doing keto, because I've been eating quite healthily anyway, and it's not going to be a massive shock on my system. I am continuing to calorie count as well as do keto at the same time. So I've eaten 1,200 calories today. 75% of that has been fat. 20% is protein, and then the other is carbohydrate. So you have to try and keep it below 20 grams of carbohydrates, which I've successfully done on day 1. So let's go through some of the foods that I bought today, and all these are highly recommended because they're low in carbohydrates. Let's start with the boring stuff. This one's not boring, but this is an aubergine, everyone. We all know the aubergine emoji. Not many people actually eat it. The reason I bought this one is because it's really important to get your fats in. Now, in Egypt, they eat this a lot for breakfast. They slice it up, deep fry it. So what I'm going to be doing tomorrow morning is having a slice of aubergine in my coconut oil for breakfast with some eggs, and it's going to taste, if you've never tried it before, it is wow. So that's really low in carbohydrates, and as we said, it's really great to find fruit and vegetables that you can add fat to, because that's the biggest challenge with keto, is to try and get your fat level really, really high. So that's going to sup up the fat tomorrow morning, and I look forward to getting a big aubergine down me first thing in the morning. The other low carbohydrate fruits and veg are just some iceberg lettuce. I've got a bit of cucumber, which is a little bit higher. Also, celery is really, really low, so I'm going to look forward to some celery and cheese. I've also bought some mixed chilies because, again, when you're having things like cream and cheese, you've got to have some flavour in there as well. So instead of going for sauces and really processed things in keto, I'm trying to stick to real natural foods. Other things as well, asparagus. I love asparagus. Now, my favourite thing, I actually had this last week, is just to shallow fry asparagus in butter and have it with salt and pepper. Wow, just you wouldn't think that would be a meal, but actually that's a really delicious meal. So I'm looking forward to that. Then also, to my absolute surprise and pleasure, it had some rhubarb. So this is the #1 lowest fruit of all fruits for keto. So if you don't know that, rhubarb is literally your lifesaver. So I'm going to have this with a little bit of yogurt. So that's going to be so, so nice. I might even have some cream on there as well. Cream and rhubarb, fresh rhubarb. It's going to be so nice. Really looking forward to that. Also bought some avocados. Today, avocados are on offer this week at Aldi, but it's cheaper to buy the packets. I've got 4 packet ones. Also got some smashed avocados, so we'll be putting that in. As I said earlier in the video, it's really important to get lots of fat in your diet, and avocado seems to be the easiest way to do it. Those avocado chips that I made for my tea tonight were just one of the best things I've ever tasted in my whole life, and actually taste better than real chips as well, and that is saying something from someone who's had a lot of chips in their lifetime. Okay, so that's avocado. As I said, pork scratchings, those are my favourite. As well as doing keto, I'm also trying to keep to my holistic lifestyle background. Therefore, processed foods in general are not something that I'm going to be going towards. But as part of my 80-20, I'm going to keep a little bit of that in. Obviously, they're great for when you're out and about. The other things that I bought today, vanilla extract. A lot of things have seemed to have vanilla extract in, so I've got some of that in. Now let's move on to dairy. Now, remember Aldi used to do like pots like this, and then you've got another bit of plastic to put on. So you throw that bit in the bin, and then you put your plastic pot on. Because obviously they're trying to save the environment and all that sort of jazz, they've got rid of that extra bit of plastic. So there was me today, licked my lid, threw it in the bin, and then realised it hasn't got anything to put on. So I then had to take out of the bin my licked piece of plastic and then put it back on my fresh sour cream. That was just my small story. So this is full fat, fresh soured cream, which I dipped my avocado in today, which was really, really delicious. Hi guys, welcome to the live video. Nice for you to join us. Also, I've got some fresh double cream, so that's double cream, and then at the bottom here I've also got some cottage cream. Now I was really upset when I got home because if you look at this cottage cheese, does that say low fat? Does that say no fat? I just thought, oh, it doesn't say so it must just be full fat cottage cheese. Got it home, and in very small print it says low fat cottage cheese. So that is not keto, guys. So anything low fat is not keto. So I will not be having that cottage cheese. I need to go back and get some more of that. Also in the dairy section, mozzarella is one of the best cheeses to have because it's so low in carbohydrates, and obviously it's not so processed as well. And this again is the full fat one. Also is some full fat soft cheese. Again, you need to be careful with the carbohydrates in that, but if you don't have too much, that's fine. Now when it comes to cheese, the maturer the better, because again, less in carbohydrates. You do need to be careful with how much you're having in that. But again, if you add that with some fat, with some nice low carb vegetables, that's going to go a long way. Moving on to the meat section. Now, I think it's because I haven't had pork for so long. I just went crazy on pork today. I think it's because I know that it's got a lot of fat in it. So again, generally, all these, especially these two, they're quite processed. Bacon's had something done to it, and ham's had something done to it. It hasn't just got like that. So bear in mind, try not to have too much process. But I've got some ham and I've got some streaky bacon, because obviously that is the most calorific and the most fatty one. Now, something a little bit more natural is pork belly slices. So really looking forward to having some of those. They are going to be, woohoo! My saliva's like dripping, even the thought of pork belly. And again, cooking in that in some more fat will be great for keto. What I can see, because what you have to do is have 80% fat. Now, although that sounds easy, it's actually really hard to do, because if you have something like this, or the bacon, suddenly your protein shoots up to 50%, and you're like, damn, you know. So what I've been doing is trying to actually lower the meat content and upping the vegetables with fat. So that seems to be the key. So this much meat that I've got will actually last me all week, maybe even 10 days. So initially people do think keto is quite expensive, but it's not, because they're actually using a lot of olive oil and a lot of coconut oil to get your calories in. So if you are scared of keto financially, then I would say don't worry about it. You're best to buy too little instead of too much, because I think people do generally overeat on cheese and things that are quite expensive, and cream, where actually you should only be having a little bit anyway. Touching back on dairy, I did get some Greek yogurt. So this is full fat Greek yogurt, which is naturally 10% fat. Now again, with yogurt, that's probably going to last me 2 weeks, because you shouldn't be eating too much of this, because it is quite high in carbohydrates. So you do need to be careful. And then some mushrooms as well is also a nice favourite for in the morning. Now, one thing I did pick up today, I was looking in Aldi, I've never looked for it before, and that was the highest percentage of cocoa chocolate. And they've got 85% cocoa, dark chocolate. So I'm looking forward to, can you guess what I'm going to have that with? So there's a recipe I found online of something called a fat bomb. So what would you mix this with on this table to make a fat bomb? Double cream. So all you do is blend up in a blender a little bit of chocolate and some double cream, and that makes your fat bomb, which you then freeze. And basically, if you're ever feeling hungry, or you're feeling a little bit lethargic, you have your fat bomb, and it literally brings you back to life, which is what happened with me this afternoon after I'd had my avocado chips. For those of you just joining us on the video, I've just been explaining for breakfast today. I had my eggs and bacon. For lunch, I had some pork scratchings, and then this afternoon I was feeling a little bit down, a little bit like, am I getting that keto flu? But actually, having some fat, like one of these fat bombs, really brought me back into life. And remember, this is only day one. The most important thing is to drink water when you're doing keto. So let's have a little bit more of that right now. Thank you so much, guys, for sending me all your keto recipes. I've been getting loads in, guys, so a lot of you out there have tried keto really successfully, and you've been sending me the nice things you've been making, so I'm really looking forward to making some nice things. So maybe tomorrow night we will be in the kitchen, and I'll be showing you how to make some of these delights. Definitely one day this week I'll be showing you how to make those avocado chips, because they were delicious. Actually, calorie-wise, they're not even that high. So for those of you on a normal diet, you may want to add some of those into your weekly routine. I think that's it for today. As always, guys, please leave your comments. What do you think about all these foods? Is it making your mouth water like it is mine? If it is, all these foods, then maybe keto is for you guys. If it's not, and you're literally repulsed by looking at this coconut oil when I slid it into my mouth, then keto is not for you guys. So as I said, the most important thing with keto, you've got to fancy these foods. And for those of you who are a protein type, for those of you who know your metabolic type, then keto is a great option. So that's it from me tonight. As always, guys, I will be sending my weekly roundup. If you're not on my mailing list already, go to jodybunting.com and subscribe to my mailing list, where I will be giving you the full lowdown on my week on keto. As always, thank you so much for your comments. We're going off live now, but if you want a question, if you've got a question, feel free to leave it. I'll be online now to answer them. Thank you for joining me. See you tomorrow for day 2 of the Keto 14-day challenge. And the outro has to be the same as the intro. Ready? Let's glug a little bit of coconut oil.